Michael Cuggino is here. He's president and portfolio manager. Michael, it's great to have you. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Kelly. How you doing?
This is so unfair, but I was going to check how much the S&P is up so far year to date. The number of people who say, why do I even bother worrying about asset allocation? Everything I own just goes to the moon. It's easy. It's easy making money.
Well, in the teens, that's exactly what happened, right? I mean, the equity indexes kept going up. All you had to do was buy equity indexes and watch them go. And what do you need diversification for? But markets change, cycles change. While this Trump trade looks very one way and like it's going to last forever, I have a lot of questions as to what's really changed in the last few days other than the election results.
The thing that I find notable is, to some extent that there wasn't more of a buy the rumor, sell the fact, although I take people's point. It's not like we rallied that much into the election. But that week before, we had a lot of the Trump trades already put on. What's also interesting to me is just how much liquidity we have. Do you think that goes back to the Fed as much as anything?
Well, the Fed definitely impacts it. And now that the Fed looks like they're cutting rates, and they've made a couple of, direct moves in that direction and maybe more, although there is a limit to what they can do given where inflation's at. That's going to unlock some of that liquidity from the sidelines that was in money market funds or bank deposits and go into equities. And certainly it's gone into crypto. So, I think for the Trump trade, if you were there a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, it's good. I wouldn't be buying it now, but that's me. And we're more conservative and longer term in our thinking. And so we're not really doing much portfolio adjusting in the short term here. There's a lot of unanswered questions, whether it's policy, even the House of Representatives, we don't know yet. And it's difficult to speculate on what everybody's going to do before we know more facts.
But the Trump trade is basically everything right now. It's hard for investors to say, how much of the Dow's rally, how much of the S&P's rally, how much of the Nasdaq's rally. I understand on things like regional banks in particular, there might be a little bit more of a political overlay, but you can't really not participate whether you want to or not.
Well, the Trump trade has certainly been bad for materials and precious metals. And I don't think anything's changed in that environment. In fact, the reasons to own gold and silver, for example, are as valid now as they were 5 days ago. And I think, when you get a correction or consolidation in those markets like this, it's a good chance to take a look at them as a long-term investment. But certainly that hasn't been the case. Crypto obviously has had a tremendous move. And, there was a lot made in the media during the election cycle of Trump and crypto. So it makes total sense. Bond yields have kind of stayed somewhat stagnant after the run-up that they had. And, post-election, they're still high compared to when the Fed was cutting rates. Historically, that's kind of normal, although that trade has got a little overdone, and you might expect to see rates come back down a little bit. And on the equity sectors, I think, there's a lot of global stuff that hasn't played out yet either. Obviously, the tariff story, which has been in the news constantly, but we really don't know what's going to happen there. People have been assuming that, tariffs are going to disrupt everything and it's going to be heavily inflationary and the U.S. economy is going to go in the tank because of it. We didn't see that in the first Trump administration. We're not going to see it now. I think strategically tariffs are used. I think they'll continue to be used, and they were strategically used by both parties.
Yeah.
So, I think that may actually in the long term enhance global trade and bring partners to the table. So the sell-off of the China trade in that materials, the worry that China's not going to be doing business with the U.S. so that there's not going to be a market for that stuff, I think is way too premature, and it may turn out to be a good buying opportunity.